Get your kicks on Route 66.
Hi guys, Mark here with Wolters World, and we're in Williams, Arizona on the Mother Road, Route 66. Cute little town that has all the Route 66 stuff. Believe me guys, when you drive on Route 66 you get sucked into all the things. You want to buy all the t-shirts and signs and all kinds of great stuff because it is the Mother Road. And today what we have are the top 10 towns that you can see when you're on Route 66. Now the thing is, I'm not saying all the little tiny stuff, I'm saying if you're driving through and maybe not everyone wants to ride the road, they want to see towns along the way, these are some towns that you should stop and see on the way. So first thing off, we start in Chicago, Illinois. And Chicago has amazing architecture, and really what you really need to do is take a boat tour of Chicago, because they have these architectural boat tours you can take during the summer and spring, fall. I mean, it is well worth doing. You learn so much about the history of the city and the architecture that's in the city, and it is just fantastic. But it's not just architecture in Chicago. Chicago has amazing museums. The Art Institute of Chicago is a must-see. I mean, they have American Gothic there. You have the Museum of Science and Industry, the Field Museum if you like natural history, the Shedd Aquarium. I mean, there's so many fantastic museums in the city that you really, I can't even list them here. Also, if you want to do something a little bit more Americana, you can go to a Cubs game. Yes, go watch a baseball game at Wrigley Field. Nothing's more American than that. Go drink some Old Style and have a great time. Yes, the Cubs will lose. They haven't won for like 100,000 years, but hey, it's a fun time anyway. And when you are in Chicago, there's one thing you really should eat. Make reservations and go have Chicago-style pizza. It's a deep dish pizza that's kind of been flipped because the cheese is on the bottom and the sauce is on the top, and it is fantastic. Second, we go to Springfield, Illinois, the hometown of Abraham Lincoln. And the city is chock full of Abraham Lincoln sites. The most important one, I think the best one there, is the Lincoln Presidential Museum. It has the biggest collection of Lincoln artifacts out there. I mean, you can see what it really was like to be the president at that time. It's not just, oh, here's some of his papers. No, here's how it really was. Here's what it was like during the Civil War. Here's what it was like during that time. And it is just a fantastic museum. You have to go to it. Probably the best presidential library / museum in the U.S. Also, you can see a lot more of places like where Abraham Lincoln worked. You can go to the old state capitol. You can see Lincoln's law offices. Guys, you can even go out and see Lincoln's tomb. There's so much Lincoln stuff here. But it's not just Lincoln in Springfield. The state capitol is really nice, and there's some actually good food to have there, which is kind of funny because you have Springfield is actually the birth of the corn dog or the cozy dog, so you can go there and have that. Also, you can head to Darcy's Pub and have a horseshoe, which is basically a piece of toast, piece of meat, French fries, and then drown it in this cheese sauce. Believe me, it's much tastier than it sounds or looks. It's like a heart attack on a plate, but tastier. Number 3, St. Louis, Missouri. And St. Louis is known as the gateway to the West. That's why when you come across the river, you see the arch, the Gateway Arch, because the gateway to the West. And you can take an elevator up to the top and see a beautiful view of the downtown, all over into Illinois as well. It is really fantastic. Though, if you are scared of heights or scared of small places, I do not recommend going up there. But it is really cool, and you really should go check it out. Now, some stuff you want to do when you are in St. Louis, there's a lot of nice museums. The St. Louis Art Museum is nice. The zoo is fantastic, and it's my favorite price, free. Okay. Another thing, if you couldn't get to a Cubs game, you can go play against their arch rivals. You can go watch their arch rivals, the Cardinals, at Busch Stadium. And Busch is a beer, actually, and it's made by Budweiser. And there's a Budweiser brewery in St. Louis because Budweiser, the American Budweiser, is from St. Louis. So you can do a brewery tour, which is really cool when you're there. Number 4, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, OKC has a really nice entertainment district with, with restaurants and bars and stuff like that, so you can check that out. But what I like to go see is more museums kind of things and cultural kind of stuff for Route 66. And there's 2 really great museums that are there. Actually, there's quite a few good museums, but 2 I like. One, the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, so you can actually see what it was like and what it really was meant to be an American cowboy. It's not like it was in the movies. They go through what all happened there. There's nice art there too. Also, you have the National Museum of Western Art, which is fantastic. There's some botanical gardens, a nice zoo there. The Oklahoma City Museum of Art is nice. But what's cool is you have a few Route 66 things there too. You go through and you got the Golden Dome that's there. You got the Milk Bottle Building. These typical things you got to get your pictures at. It's really nice. Number 5, Amarillo, Texas. Now, Route 66 just cuts through the very top of Texas. And at Amarillo, you have some really nice stuff to see. Probably the best tourist site to see it's not necessarily a Route 66 thing, but the best tourist site to see is the Palo Duro Canyon, which will get you ready for the canyons and all the great stuff in the West U.S. But probably the most famous site to see when you do go on Route 66 that passes through Amarillo is the Cadillac Ranch, where they bury the cars, you know, front end down and hood, you know, the hood in and the trunk butt part coming out kind of thing. That's kind of cool. Also, what you got to do is you got to go to the Big Texan, and if you want, you can try to eat the 72-ounce steak. I mean, hey, if you finish it, it's free. I don't know if it's a free ambulance ride to the hospital, though. But anyway, it's kind of a cool thing to check out. There's some botanical gardens there. There's a flint quarry that's been around for thousands of years. It's there. And also, there's an RV museum. You can see how people did Route 66 for the last 60 years. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing to check out. Number 6. Well, you could say Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I'd say take the offshoot and go up to Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now, Santa Fe is a very eclectic and artistic city. I mean, it's got this really kind of cool vibe to the town, and this artistic vibe kind of permeates all the really cool stuff in the city. There's lots of museums, there's lots of artists there. The Canyon Road Art District is probably the one place you really want to go to see a lot of the artwork. The Museum of International Folk Art is really cool. The St. Francis Cathedral, I think, is one of the coolest churches to see in the U.S. So it really is kind of this really cool vibe kind of city, which I think you'll really enjoy. Number 7, you have Flagstaff, Arizona. Now, Flagstaff makes a good base for a few day trips you're going to want to take in northern Arizona, but the city itself actually has some nice stuff to see because Route 66 really goes through the center of town. And so I say just take the little right turn and go into the center of town, and there's some great restaurants, some great shopping, very eclectic mix, a little bit of Santa Fe in there. It's a big university town. There's Northern Arizona universities there. Really good vibe. There's also some nice museums there. There's the Pioneer Museum, so you can see what it was like to grow up in Arizona and basically the western U.S., 150 years ago. Also, there's the Museum of Northern Arizona, so if you want to see a dinosaur or you want to see how people lived in this area for the last million years, really cool place to check out. Really, probably the best museum in town. Also, you can go see the Lowell Observatory, where they found Pluto, which is cool. But basically, you're going to use Flagstaff for a base for 3 main trips. One is the Grand Canyon, but I'll talk about that with the number 8 on our list. Another one is if you head east of Flagstaff, you have Meteor Crater. And that's where 49,000 years ago, boom, and a meteor came down and left a big hole in the earth. And it is kind of a cool thing to check out. It's like, wow, there's a big hole there. And the other day trip I want to tell you about is if you go south from Flagstaff and you go into Sedona. And the drive down from Flagstaff to Sedona is probably the most beautiful drive. One of the most beautiful drives in America. You really should check it out. Number 8, you have here in Williams, Arizona, where you can take the ride up to the Grand Canyon. Now, Williams itself has kind of sold its heart and soul to Route 66 nostalgia. So it has all the signage, all the shops, the restaurants, everything is geared towards Route 66. But guys, if you've come this far on Route 66, that doesn't bother you. It makes you, it makes you tingle how much you're going to love it when you are there, because you feel like you're back in the 1950s. And it is a really nice little town. The people are super friendly, lots of great shops, lots of great restaurants. The cool thing is you can take a train from there up to the Grand Canyon. So you can take the train up, do your hiking, do your canyon, all those kind of things. They even have, mass marauders come in and try to rob the train and all kinds of fun stuff. Really good for the kids, but really the town really harkens you back 50 years ago in America. It is really great. Number 9, you have... Number 9 on our list are all the little towns along the way on Route 66. And they could be, Kingston, Arizona, which is another famous one, or going to the Hoover Dam, or Carlinville, Illinois, where Route 66 goes through the center of town and you actually go around the square. Pontiac, Illinois, where they have a Route 66 museum. Joplin, Missouri. Think of the Route 66 songs. Okay? There's all these little towns along the way that really harken back to a lost age of America and Americana. And if you're going to be coming to the U.S. or you're in America and you want to really see the U.S., you drive Route 66. Yes, these 9 towns I talk about are awesome. You should see them. But also, stop at the little towns. See how America used to be and how great it was and is, and it really gives you this great feel. So stop at those local restaurants, stay at those local hotels, and really get a feel for what it was like to go on Route 66. Number 10, you have Los Angeles, California, and the end of the Route 66 in Santa Monica. Now, LA is known for the Hollywood scene, where they make the Hollywood blockbusters. Yes, you have the Hollywood sign, you have the movie studios. Really, you should do a movie studio tour because it is kind of fun. You've got Disneyland, all these kind of stuff based off there. also the movie star stuff. You can go to Mann's Chinese Theater, see where the stars, put their feet in the cement in their hands. You can go see the Walk of Fame, all these kind of stuff. And you do kind of like get that cheesy grin, And what's funny is you can go walk down Rodeo Drive where all the nice shops are, and you'll probably see people you watch on TV the night before, or movie stars and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. But if you don't want to have the movie star experience, you want to have more of a cultural experience in LA, you can have that too. There's amazing museums in LA. Really should check those out. There's amazing architecture as well. My personal favorite, my wife's favorite, she's like, every time she goes to LA, she's like, I gotta go. The La Brea tar pits, you can see where the mammoth, the woolly mammoth's coming out and all these kind of things. It is fantastic. And of course, when you're going to LA, and you're on Route 66, you got to finish in Santa Monica, where Route 66 ends. You got Santa Monica and the Santa Monica Pier, and of course it's California, so you got to go to the beach and enjoy that. So, and here's a few extra things you might want to know about Route 66. It's over 2,400 miles long, but not too much of it's actually really left. So you're going to be on I-55, I-40, and all these other roads instead. So you're going to have to get off the highway to find the actual Route 66 kind of stuff. And that's when it's going to get you to places like Williams, Arizona, like Carlinville, Illinois, and all kinds of other little towns. So, those are our top 10 places to check out when you're on Route 66. And guys, there's all kinds of little towns, whether it's Gallup, New Mexico, or Carlinville, Illinois, or wherever you want to stop. There's so much to see and do on Route 66. You will love it. It is the mother road, and you really get to see real Americana, and it is fantastic. If you want to learn more about America and Americana, check us out at our website at www.woltersworld.com, and come and enjoy Williams, Arizona, or any other wonderful towns like Flagstaff, all these places on Route 66. Bye! Bye from Williams, Arizona.